All right, ladies and gents, welcome again with another video. In today's video, we have another client interview with my guy Alex. Alex joined a couple months back with Renaissance Closer. I think it was still Project White Rabbit, right, when he joined?
Yeah, it was right in
Yeah,
transition of
it was
it.
still Project White Rabbit. The main thing is, so you've been in a couple offers, and last month you made 3K in commission as a setter, right? And then now you have two
Yeah.
offers as well. But yeah, man, I'm gonna give you the floor. Kind of like show, like tell us, what were you doing before and now? Where are you before and after?
Okay. Solid. Yeah. So basically, I guess like last year when I started, joining like the program, I was
Hmm.
23 years old at the time, working at Walmart, on myself like in development journey,
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
looking for ways to make like extra income. And I guess during that time I was studying like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he was like all about financial freedom, financial success.
yeah.
And he was very very heavy on like how to sell, like you need to learn how to sell, you want to start your own
Hmm.
business.
Hmm.
And so scrolling to TikTok, I was seeing that's where I saw your videos, and
Yeah,
I kept liking them, and all like, and you drop some sauce, you drop these books to like, okay, you want to learn how to sell, here's the books you gotta like, you gotta read. I'm like, okay, cool, like, and like that's why I dropped you a follow on Instagram. We talked, um
yeah,
schedule call with Adam, and
yeah,
now we're here. It's
yeah.
been quite a journey now. I guess where we could to go ahead and talk about, we were like, where I went ahead, I guess like last month now, like I made
Hmm.
like 3K. Now
Yep.
being able to quit that Walmart job and now working full
Yeah,
time remotely.
yeah. Tell us about that, bro. Because I know you were joining the calls, the weekly calls that we have, and you'd be working, right? It's like,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So tell us about that. How did you transition from your regular job to going all in now in high ticket sales?
Yeah. So after like not too long after I joined the program, um I was the weekly like groupie calls, like group coaching calls.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
would join at work because that's the time that would be scheduled. But like, I
yeah,
had my earbuds in, join up, like apologize for everyone, like, greet everyone, I
yeah,
apologize, and just listen in. And like, you know what? Like it was so much value I was learning off these calls, and I'm like telling my coworkers, they're like, "Oh, what you got going on?" And I was telling them, and then they're like seeing me just like listening, like they think I was
yeah.
listening to music or anything, but no, I was just on these calls. I was just learning so much value with you, with Matt, and with
Mhm,
Adam too.
mhm.
I didn't know during that time I didn't do nothing. Like I didn't know how to sell or nothing. Like I was still going through
Yeah,
the modules,
yeah,
and but I kept going, and I kept attending these calls, and I built these connections. I started, I guess you guys taught us how to network with people too.
mhm.
And so, starting off with Facebook and everything, that's where I first like landed my first my first appointment setter job,
Yeah,
and I made commission. First
yeah,
make
yeah,
commission the first month too.
yeah,
And which that's pretty crazy because like the first goal was to make 250, but I was like, oh, you're gonna make more than that, dude.
yeah,
And
yeah,
first month I made 250. So that was
yeah,
pretty crazy right there.
yeah.
And then shortly after that, keep going outreaching to these people, got an offer on IG. Then got another one on IG as well. But going, still working on that, improving your sales skills and just
Mhm.
outreaching more people until like lately, I want to say, I think the beginning of December, where I found this lead generation offer, which pretty much led me to making that 3K a month. So
Yeah,
during that time was on these offers, I noticed like if I wanted to like be successful in it, I had
yeah,
to fully commit to it. And
mm,
so the things that I noticed or with my job would like take so much time. I was full time working at Walmart.
yeah,
And so when it came down to modules and actually studying to them, like I'll have like this hour lunch I'll have. And during that hour lunch, like I would not eat or like, yeah, I wouldn't eat. Like I wouldn't eat. I would just go to the
yeah,
coffee shop, get my coffee, sit down, put the earbuds in, and like whatever time I had that, like I had to read the books or I had to go
yeah,
through the modules and
yeah,
or listen to the group recordings. And
yeah.
like every day it was like that, unless it was a weekend that I have more time to, to put into.
Mhm.
Uh but during that time it was just a constant grind. It was
I
just keep
think,
on
yeah,
going,
I
keep on
think
going.
that's kudos to you, right? Because it's like one of those things where a lot of people would, think that they just join a program, and magically they'll overnight make,
Yeah,
life-changing money to transition to the regular job. But for you, right, you made the sacrifice and effort to actually, even an hour break, you go straight to the coffee shop, do some studying, right? And then eventually
yeah.
go back to a regular job. And then now this is where you're at. Fast forward now, being able to quit, right? So how much were you making at Walmart?
I was making roughly barely around 2K, roughly around 2K.
So roughly 2K, and that's full time, right? And then now you're able to fully
Yeah,
transition in high ticket sales, right? Making 3K commission.
3K.
And then what would you say was the biggest lever for you that changed? Like, okay, that got you the results, would you say?
Okay. Yeah. So when I was at certain time, and I was wondering, like, okay, I'm putting this much time into like why I'm not where I want to be yet.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I gotta look at the variables because that's what that's what you guys were talking to me.
Yeah.
Look back at like what's some things you had to change. And so I looked at it and I really thought to myself, and it was my job. It was my job. It
Hmm.
was a 9 to 5 mindset. And
Yeah.
and it was just like around like my coworkers too. Is like they don't understand. So which
Yeah.
is why the Slack community was so like important.
Yeah.
Because like being able to relate to the people that were going through the same stuff that you're going through will help me out a lot.
Right.
And so what I noticed was the biggest game changer was actually cutting my hours to part time. So I switched to part
Yeah.
time, and then I was like, okay, now that I have more time, I can put more work, put more energy output into like the remote, like to more remote work. And that's where I was able to get like I guess December. I was like around barely around 2K, barely about 2K, but I was doing part time at Walmart. But like I knew it wasn't enough. It was like December or January. Yeah.
Hmm.
No. Yeah, it was January, I want to say. And then it was came down to that. It was like, okay, now that I seen like the actual results, like seen the reward. Okay,
Yeah.
now then I actually, keep going and keep going until I actually make that 3K. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I made the 3K, quit my job at Walmart, and now I'm like fully to focus all in. And then that's where really things like been able to like scale up even more.
I love it. Right. So it's like the commitment that you have. And then again, it's the shift of mindset from, hey, like, even though you have some uncertainty, it's like going all in to get the result instead of like waiting for the result. But there's like a breaking point, right? That we always talk about where, okay, cool, you have a regular job. The goal is to get some proof of concept, shift to part time, and then eventually, after you go part time, get more results. And you feel like the work is not conflicting to it, or you feel like you have a runway to run. Okay, that's when you can go all in now and then actually put your 100% effort into it. Because worst case scenario, the offer didn't work out, you could just always go back. But in your case,
Exactly.
it worked out, right? So which is what I like. And what would you say is like the biggest thing that you learned from the program? The takeaway for you to get where you're at right now.
This is actually from Homero.
Yeah.
I was during that time when I was struggling too, and in Homero, when he was sharing his experience, he was saying
Mhm.
consistency is always going to be consistency, and same thing with Jim, and then honestly, same thing that you do with everything else. If you do keep it doing, you keep it consistent. You do keep doing these daily
Yeah.
practices or weekly practices, you're going to get results.
Right.
And for me, that was the case because during that time, even during the time when I was full time, it was that 1 hour that I had after my lunch break going to the coffee shop and
Hmm.
studying and learning to going to part time and keep going after it at consistency. And then now where I'm full time and I'm just happy where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. So for you, what's the next steps now?
So next step is make 5K a month, especially with the new offer on the
Yeah.
econ offer. And
Yeah.
it's really solid. Make 5K and then scale up even more and to the point where I can make 10K and just start my own offer. Which like yeah, start my own business, which was like the
Nice.
original goal from the start.
Right. Uh-huh. I love it. And I'm curious, if someone is watching this, like kind of like in a similar position to you back then, they were like, I know I can make something happen online, but I just don't know where to start. What would you tell them?
just start. There's what's holding you back from starting. Honestly, for my example, like this is me talking to them, and whoever's watching. To be honest with you, you're
Yeah.
listening right now. I worked at Walmart for 5 years. 5 years. If you keep on doing the same things that you're doing for like for me, in my example, if I kept doing the same things that I was doing for like the past 5 years and I was expecting different results, that literally leads you to insanity. So
Hmm.
during that time, I knew you feel like it's time for some change.
Hmm.
Then what's holding you back from actually getting started? And like if you're going to take that step forward, like that's probably the biggest like beneficial like factor you're going to do to yourself. Like the probably biggest like favor you're going to do to yourself, like instead of going to the same loop again.
Yeah,
Because
100%. I love
honestly,
it.
this is the way.
Yeah, because again, it's not like you're not gonna overnight make, 10K a month like
No.
that, right? It's, but it's the freedom and the ability and having the clarity to know that you can get there, right? Because you
Yeah,
have proof of
exactly.
concepts with the people you're around, surrounded yourself with, and the people that you're with, they're on the same path as you, or maybe further or earlier, right? But it's a
Exactly.
community where it's everybody starts with a different, journey. But for you, like, yes, 3K a month, maybe like that's pretty good. But in a grand scheme of things, being able to work, make 3K a month and kind of like travel everywhere because you were originally
Oh
from
yeah,
Texas, right? And then now you're in
Texas.
California and still having the ability to make money, even though you're like moving from place to place, which is solid, right? Because if you're working a regular job, right, then it's not really you won't be able to still make money even though like you're a California and then your job is at Texas.
Yes, exactly right. Because especially with the 9 to 5 jobs, but most 9 to 5 jobs for me it was Walmart.
Yeah,
You had to put a request, and
yeah,
for me, like I was born and raised in California,
yeah.
and so it was just a big it put me in a big up like upset and disappointment that I was not able to see my family, and
Mm,
what the fact that Walmart was not able to approve my vacations.
yeah,
And we think we had that call with Adam. I think that was the biggest thing that actually wanted me to like to get started with this. Like every time I felt like giving up or I felt like this was for me, you gotta remember the way why you started. And for
yeah,
me, it was quitting that job, making more money, and being able to travel back to California, which where I'm at right now. Uh, it's just honestly it's just those driving factors that make you want to keep going, makes you want to go ahead and do more. And
hmm,
and just get out of that life that you're not. I mean, you're not. For me, I wasn't happy with that life I had, so I did
yeah,
something about
yeah.
it, and so now here I am.
I love it. That's awesome, man. And like again, if you guys notice, if you guys are watching, I'm not the only one who's gonna be helping you out with your journey, right? Like you've mentioned,
Oh yeah,
Adam, Homero, right, and the other guys inside the community, right? These guys are we're a community. I don't like seeing it as like I'm the only one who's gonna like take all the credit. Like there are probably like inside our community that are extremely well versed people, maybe better than me in closing. That's why they're inside our community, right? But the,
yeah,
the main thing is we help each other out inside the community in Renaissance Closer. And that's what we're trying to cultivate here is having a circle where, it's not just a transactional relationship, but it's a long-term relationship where you start off somewhere that you prove yourself that you're actually committed to this 100%. And then the next step is, let's work together, right? And then eventually we refer you offers that we work with, right? And then eventually
yeah,
the next step would be, you know, potentially like you helping out some new guys right inside the community. For example, Adam, who went through the community, the program as well. Now he's helping you guys out and inspiring you guys to keep going. So for you, like for you, Alex, if someone's watching right now and they're like, I want to start, but I just don't know, I'm scared, they're kind of on the edge. Like, what would you tell them right now?
I don't even think about it honestly. Just like, what's there? What do you have to lose? Honestly, if you're like for me, like we're in our 20s. If these guys, whether like a teenager or they're in their 20s, what they got to lose? They got the time, they got the energy. Why not, right? Instead of, especially if you're working that 9 to 5 job, I'll tell you that like, I would take this any day, any time, any place, any moment over than 9 to 5 because you seen what a 9 to 5 does to you. You've seen what it does to you, what it does to other people, and that's okay with you. If you're okay with that, then may God help you. But as for the guys that actually want to do get started,
Yeah.
go ahead and just do it, and you're gonna do yourself a big favor. And for guys, like how Elijah said, it's not just only Elijah. There, of course, there's Hamaro, Adam, even Jaime,
Mhm.
even myself. All everyone
Yeah.
else in the community, they're all here to help out, and it just there's no other reason why you just can't. And other than that,
Yeah.
just get started. You better get one than zero. Yeah,
Right.
start at
A
one rather
hundred
than zero.
percent. Yeah. I 100% agree. And that's how I started too, man. Like, it's not like tried to figure everything myself, right? And then that's
Yeah,
honestly like one of the things that's taught me to grow faster is I tried the first few years of my entrepreneurship journey is I tried to figure out myself, oh, I'll just, do it, like look for information online and connect the dots. But it's like I realized, okay, I've been doing this for 2 years now, right? Like my first 2 years of trying to make money online. And it's like, okay, I keep getting the same results and I barely get any results, right? So there's got to be a change and there's got to be someone out there that can help me get there faster. So that's when I started investing into programs as well and just being surrounded with like-minded individuals, right? So again,
yeah,
brother, I appreciate you as an individual. All respect to you. You're the one who put yourself in the situation. I was just there to like show you the ropes, but you're the one who actually grabbed the rope and started climbing the rope, right? You didn't just like, because the saying, right? You could lead
yeah.
a horse to a water, but you can't force
You
it to
can't make
drink
him
it.
drink it. Yeah,
Exactly. So you're the one who decided to actually put your step foot forward and do the hard work and actually get the results, right? And this is just the beginning, right? We have
yeah,
guys
definitely.
that made the same amount as you, made more than you. But again, everybody started the different journeys, right? But what is important is you're being consistent, like what you said, and making sure that you have the bigger picture on why you're doing this. And again, you wouldn't trade this for a 9 to 5 job, right? And like what you're able, the freedom,
Exactly.
access that you have now. And again, that's pretty much it, man. Like, do you have any last remarks that you wanna?
So, I mean, it's an honor to give him the platform here, especially I seen like the other interviews on with Adam and like especially with
Yeah,
Jaime. He's from Mexico.
yeah,
And
yeah,
from a guy that didn't know how to speak English, that's what made me also want to do stuff like this.
yeah,
So even for me, like next plans is to visit Mexico, and that's
yeah,
part of my family over there too. And honestly, like for anyone that's watching out there, like you have plans, you have ambitions, you have dreams, but if your certain situation does not allow you to get that, then why stay stuck in there? And if you honestly truly believe that this can actually help you to take you where you want to be at, then why not do it? And for
yeah,
me, just take from my example and take, always you could mention Elijah here too. But honestly, it's why not?
yeah, yeah.
Other than
No, hundred
that,
percent.
yeah, I mean, just take risks. You can't create a future where
Yeah,
you don't take risks.
100%. Right. I think there's a quote from Jim Rohn that I love the most. It's when he talks about, would you rather live a life of 100 years of security and protection, or would you rather live a life of 50 years of full of adventures and taking risk, right? So
Exactly.
it's up to you in which type of life that you want to live, right? And the 100% of security, but to be honest, not to in our day and age, both
Exactly.
sides is already risky. So might as well go to the one that has more upside, right? So that's why I'm
Exactly.
in this path too, right? It's not like, I just happen to be, a couple of steps ahead of you guys, but I know for a fact that you guys will eventually have your own business, right? We do business together. That's why, again, like in the beginning of the program, I don't know if you recall their introduction. My vision and why I started this community is I want to see you guys create your own thing. We do business together, and then we start partnering, run stuff up and, make money together. But yeah,
The big
man.
vision.
Appreciate you. And if you guys are watching, hope you guys found something valuable in today's video. And as always, be a creator, not a consumer. Make something today that will inspire you and others.